Hi, I'm Jonah Watts, and if you're anything like me, you might find yourself in a situation where you pull out your phone when you don't want to, quite often. Chances are that you've been in the middle of doing something awesome and, just taking a quick break for a little scroll. And if you're anything like me, you've probably gotten some ads for services that help you block different types of social media in different ways. A lot of these ads promise to cure your social media addiction by introducing a physical barrier to access your social media on your phone. That little bit of extra friction is usually enough to help you just stop doing it subconsciously. The first product I was introduced to was called the Brick. It's a product where you would tap it with your phone and it would lock you out of social media until you go back to that physical brick, tap it once again, and regain access to your social media accounts. I thought it was a really, really interesting concept. So I started to look into it. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized there was different products that already filled the same niche. A lot of these products came in different forms. There was an NFC card called Bloom, the NFC brick called Brick, and a little keychain called Unplug. These products seemed awesome, and I really wanted one. The problem is they were all really expensive. Some of them were subscription services. Now, this seemed crazy expensive to me for a problem that doesn't seem very hard to solve. So I looked for more of a DIY solution. At the core of all these products, there's two halves. There's the application and there's the physical NFC object that's blocking you from using your phone. Let's start with the NFC tags. Now, first, we just need any type of NFC tag. For this, you can even use something like an Amiibo, which uses NFC on the base. But here are a couple of better alternatives that I've come up with. The easiest one is an NFC card. These cards are extremely cheap, and you can use them to tap onto your phone to lock it. They're very cheap for a large quantity of them on Amazon. They're so cheap that I actually use them as little whiteboards on my desk. The next option is NFC stickers. NFC stickers are very cheap, and you can stick them anywhere. One option would be to stick it somewhere you use often, like your desk or your bed, and every time you want to unbrick your phone, you have to go to that object and tap it to unlock it. Now, you could just go and stick them somewhere, but if you or a friend have access to a 3D printer, you can make a little bit of a neater solution that follows the form factor of the traditional brick. It's a super simple print. You just print it and you just make sure that it pauses at the right layer so that you can place in an NFC sticker and then just finish the print. The brick form factor also features a customizable front for whatever text or logo you want, and this is easily editable within your 3D printing slicer. This design actually took me quite a few prototypes, mostly because I couldn't get the magnets far enough back to stick to objects, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and at my household there are a lot of these little bricks all over our refrigerator. The second design is the keychain style, kind of like the Unplug, and this design is a lot more compact, it's easier to print, faster to print, and it doesn't need magnets. This design also has customizable front that you can also edit in your 3D printing slicer. This design, you also just pause the print halfway through and put a sticker in and finish the print. Out of these two physical options, I actually prefer the slightly bigger and clunkier brick option, just because I find the Unplug a little bit too convenient to carry with me on a keychain wherever I go. And if I use the brick, I truly just want to leave it at home on my fridge or on my bed frame, and I don't touch it and don't have access to social media for the entire day. So there you have it. For around $10, you can have a very, very cost-effective alternative to some of these more expensive phone blocking softwares. Now, we've talked about the physical aspect of how to block your phone, but now we really got to talk about the app. There's a couple apps on the App Store that provide a service like this. One of them is called Dumb Phone, or DP. I use this on my home screen as a launcher so that my home screen is less cluttered and distracting. But there is an amazing free app made in Calgary, Alberta, and it's called Foqos, spelled with a Q. As of recording, this app is completely free, no in-app purchases. So if you do end up using it and it does end up helping you, I highly recommend that you donate to the project. Using this app, you can set up NFC tags or even free alternatives like printed out QR codes. And you can make it so you can restrict certain apps on your phone and you can have them start at certain times if you want. Using this app, you can select the apps that you don't want to have access to while you have your brick tapped. and then you have to wait until you come back and tap it again to unlock all those apps. And it gives you statistics on how long you've been in a focus mode. It's a really cool app, and I'll do a more in-depth video later on how I set it up with my phone, along with some shortcuts that I've set up to make it a little bit faster and easier to activate the focus mode, but a little bit trickier to deactivate it, just as a little bit of an extra incentive. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Links to all of the project files that I've made will be down below. And if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below as well. Have a great day.